Hello dear friends, today we'll be dealing with a topic of common source amplifier. The question asked is like explain the common source amplifier circuit including R0, and then you have to derive the expression for R in, R out, voltage gain and the overall gain. So this is what will be basically asked in VTU for 10, it's a 10 mark question. So now moving on to this, when I tell a common source amplifier, it is the name itself suggests that the source should be common for an amplifier circuit. Now, this in this common source amplifier circuit, it has a source terminal that will be connected between the input and the output. That means your input will be applied between the gate and the source terminal. So now to analyze this common source amplifier, we'll consider a constant current source biasing, constant current source biasing circuit. So using that we will be analyzing this kind of common source amplifier. So for easy to remember how to write the circuit of a common source amplifier, so as I told, we will be using constant current source biasing technique. Okay, here. So we'll write first the circuit of constant current source biasing, and then I will tell you how to write a common source amplifier circuit. So now let us write a constant current source biasing circuit. So the circuit goes like this, wherein you will have a Hardy resistance, and then you will have a MOSFET, then you will have a constant current source, and the potential will be VSS, and you will also have a resistance that will be RG. Okay, then you will have this is nothing but RD, and this is our VDD. So this was our circuit, right? So now in this itself we are just going to draw our common source amplifier circuit. Now how to do that is, we'll be giving our input via gate always, right? So via gate we'll be giving our input always. So now we have to give a signal, that is VSIG and RSIG, as an input signal to the gate terminal through the coupling capacitor CC1. We are using this capacitor so that we can give the input to the gate terminal. So let me do that. So here I will have a capacitor. Let this capacitor be CC1. It's a coupling capacitor. Okay, this is our signal VSIG, and the other terminal will be grounded. So this is, we are done with input part. Now come to this. Here is our common source CS capacitor called CS. So I'll tell you why we require this, why do we require this and all further. Now at drain part you will have another capacitor CC2, and then you are giving it, connecting a resistance RL. Okay. So it was first we drew a constant current source biasing circuit, then we at input part we have given this one, output part this one, and at the source we have connected one capacitor CS. Now what is this CS? CS refers to bypass capacitor. Okay. Now when I tell a CS is a bypass capacitor, why the name says that it is a bypass capacitor is because signal current will pass through this CS. Okay, the current will pass through this CS and then to the ground. So therefore it is going to bypass the output resistance of current source. So as it is going to bypass the output resistance of a current source, that means this current source resistance will be bypassed by this capacitor. Hence the name is given as a bypass capacitor. So now this bypass capacitor, we can see that it is connected between this is our source terminal and this is our ground. Between the source and the ground it is being connected, and this always remains in the microfarad range only. So now why do we require this? To provide a very small input impedance, or we need a zero input impedance. So because of that we require this CS capacitor. Once again I am going to repeat it, why the name is a bypass capacitor. So as this is required to provide a very small input impedance or a zero impedance, this way a signal current will pass through this CS. Signal current will pass through this CS to the ground, and then it is going to bypass the output resistance of a current source. Hence the name is given as a bypass capacitor. Now coming to the coupling capacitor. What are coupling capacitors? CC1 and CC2 are our coupling capacitors. Now why these coupling capacitors are required? Coupling capacitors are required to act as a perfect short circuit at all signal frequencies of interest when it is going to block a DC. While blocking the DC, what happens is you need something to act as a short circuit, perfect short circuit. So whatever the signal frequency can be. Okay, so that is the use of this coupling capacitor. To act as a short circuit we need coupling capacitor, that's it. Okay, now moving on further. Now what happens is, whatever the signal we have to amplify, that means here what is the signal we have to amplify? It is VSIG. So the signal to be amplified here is nothing but VSIG. Let me write it. So VSIG is the signal which is required to be amplified. Now this signal along with the resistance RSIG, internal resistance, okay, this will be connected. This thing you are connecting it to the gate. Is it possible that directly we can connect it to the gate? No. That is the reason why we are using coupling capacitor CC1, which is nothing but our input coupling capacitor. Now whatever the voltage signal at the drain is also required to be coupled to some capacitor, right? Okay, to the load resistance. Now that will be done. Now the potential appearing at the drain should be coupled to the output load resistance. So that cannot be done directly. Hence we are using this CC2. That is nothing but another coupling capacitor. Now what are we going to do is that, now this circuit, using this circuit, will replace it to a small signal or hybrid bimodal. We are replacing it. So hybrid bimodal, as explained in the previous section, what do we know? We will have a gate part. We will have a gate and drain. Let me first draw all the three parts, and then source part will be here. Correct? So this is our source. Source is grounded here. So I'll be taking this as a hybrid pi model, and in that model what do we have? Here we had a GM into VGS, right? GM into VGS, and then there was some small R0 resistance connected. So this was our circuit, right? Small signal model circuit including R0. So now, okay, this was a small signal model. So now we will be connecting the things or the components which is appearing in the above circuit in this small signal model circuit. Okay, so how are we going to do that is, observe carefully. First let us finish the gate part. At the gate part, what do we have? This is our gate. Now at gate part, what do we have? We are not going to connect any capacitors here. Only the resistance and the potential or the signal voltages we are going to consider. So now at input part, what do we have? We have RSIG, RG and VSIG. So now this part I am going to connect it as it is to the gate. Okay, so it gives me RSIG VSIG. And what happens to the RG now? This also will remain the same. RG will be there. Okay, this is our RG. Now, where do we apply our input? Across this part only. So, let me give this as my Rn. Now, what will be the potential? If Rn is the resistance, the potential that will be appearing across will be Vin or Vi, I can tell. Now, as we have seen previously that at the gate, our gate current is going to be 0. We have seen this even in the T model also, right? Okay. Now, this is all about our input or the gate part. Now, moving on to the other part, that is at the drain part, we have a resistance RL and RD. So, these both, when we see, they are connected in parallel. So, I will be connecting here also the same thing. So, are they appearing in parallel? Yes. This is RD, this is RL, and output will be taken over here. So, now this is nothing but our output resistance R out. Fine. So, this is about our circuit. Now, moving on with the derivation part. So, in the derivation, now we are going to find out for input resistance, output resistance, voltage gain and the overall gain. Expression for these things are required necessarily. Now, when we see here, Rn is not going to depend on RL. That means that your Rin will be nothing but your Ri, that is nothing but input resistance only. R out is not going to depend on RSIG. Okay. So that means your output resistance will be R naught. Okay. Now at input part, what happens? Let us come to the derivation part. At input, what do we have? At input, Ig will be equal to 0. Here when we observe, Ig is 0 at input part. So what happens? Whatever comes, that means this part will be short circuited, right? So whatever is my Rin, the same thing will be my Rg now. So I can write Rin will be equal to Rg. So now we'll find what is our input voltage. Vi. We have written something here, right? Vi. So input voltage, we'll find it. So to find this Vi, what I will do? Apply voltage division rule. So now what we are doing is consider only this part. Okay. So the circuit is something like, here I will be drawing it for easier simplification. It is just something like this we have, right? VSIG or this is Rin and this is RSIG and this is RG. Okay. Now I want Vi. How do I find Vi? Vi is nothing but input. That means at this part input part, right? So I want potential at this point. That means to find potential at one point, that is nothing but a Vi I want. Okay, Vi is nothing but Rin is nothing but Rg. That means your input part, when you want to find potential at this part, you have to take the overall voltage appearing. That is nothing but VSIG is the overall voltage multiplied with what is the resistance that is appearing at the input part. It is nothing but my Rg. I can write this also as Rin, input resistance, divided by, and what all resistances are present in the circuit, RSIG and Rin I mean. So this is what I will be writing. That means sum of the resistances remaining. Sum of the remaining resistances, Rg plus Rin. This is what I am going to have, right? So now we know that Rin is equal to Rg. Hence, the equation changes to Vin is equal to VSIG into Rg by Rg plus RSIG. So this is what I am going to get. Now, let us focus how to find our output voltage. Now, why the hell do we need this Vi is, when we have Vi and V out only, we will be able to find our voltage gain, as it is the ratio of the output voltage and the input voltage. Now, moving on further, to find the output voltage. Output voltage is nothing but it is current V is equal to I into R. We know this basic, right? Now I here is nothing but what is this? GM into VGS. Fine. And as the direction is downward, we will be taking a negative sign. I into R, right? So I here is nothing but a current source, that is GM VGS. As it is going down, we take a negative sign. So minus GM VGS we got multiplied with R. So now what are the resistances we have here? R0, RD, RL. All the resistances are in parallel. Hence, I can write it as R0 parallel to RD parallel to RL. Okay, this is what I will be getting. Now, what do I need? I want voltage gain. Now, to find the voltage gain, it is nothing but the ratio of AV, it is represented by AV. It is the ratio of output voltage by input voltage, correct? So, now when we see here, input voltage is nothing but VGS, right? So, now take this VGS down V0 by VGS, which will be equal to minus GM into R0 parallel to RD parallel to RL. So this is what we are going to get. So now V0 is equal to minus GM VGS into R0 parallel to RD parallel to RL. So now this VGS comes down. So V0 by VGS, which will be equal to AV, output by input voltage gain, minus GM into R0 parallel to RD parallel to RL. This is RD. So this is what we are going to get for our voltage gain. Now, how to find the overall gain? Now our aim is to find the overall gain. Now how do we find overall gain is to determine that we have to consider the resistances at the input part. That is nothing but purely this part, Rin R by R SIG plus Rin. Other way I can write Rg by Rg plus RSIG. So consider the resistances at the input part, multiply with the total gain or voltage gain. So I am going to get, it is represented by GV. So my GV is going to be, what did I tell? Take the resistances at the input part, that is Rg by Rg plus RSIG into AV multiplied with gain. Fine. Now what do we have for the gain? It is nothing but this part, right? So I am going to take this part and substitute it here. So I will be getting GV is equal to Rg by Rg plus RSIG. AV here is nothing but minus GM. I will be writing minus over here, and GM I will be writing it here only. And what is left still? Resistances are left, R0, RD and RL. So R0 parallel to RD parallel to RL. So this is what I am going to get. Now we are done with three characteristic of a common source amplifier. Now our aim is to find output resistance. Now to determine the output resistance, what we have to do is, we have a input signal, that is VSIG. So that we have to make it 0. So VSIG should be 0 whenever we are finding our output. So why it should be made 0? Because our R0 is not going to depend on our SIG. So hence our VSIG will be, V signal is there, no, that will be made 0. Okay, that means if it is made 0, then it will be short circuited. So in that case, it is not going to have any effect on RL as well. So now what will be our output resistance? Output resistance at the output part, as it doesn't have any effect on RL. So what do we have? At output part, RL is not taken into consideration. Only these will be present, right? Which is nothing but R0 and RD. So we can write it as R0 parallel to RD. So this is what we are going to have. So this is all about our common source amplifier circuit. So briefing whatever we have done till now. So we have just considered a common source amplifier circuit. So in this circuit, how to write the circuit? As I told, just consider a constant current source biasing technique. To that, give the input this part, and then to the to the source terminal connect CS, that is a CS capacitor, bypass capacitor. So why do you need bypass capacitor? Because we want a very small or a zero impedance. So we have CS. Now consider CC2, that means potential appearing at drain part should pass through this RL. So that is the reason we want a coupling capacitor CC2, and then write all the capacitor what you have done. Then next you take the voltage signal whichever you want to amplify, along with RSIG you are applying it to the gate. Directly we can't apply, that is through CC1 coupling capacitor we are applying it. Okay, so next take the T or the hybrid pi model, you replace it and draw the circuit of it accordingly. So now after drawing this circuit, we will be able to find out Rn. Okay, here Rn will be able to find, which is nothing but Rg, as our Ig will be equal to 0. Now accordingly we have to find voltage gain. To find voltage gain, our input voltage and output voltage we have to find. After finding that, output by input will give us the voltage gain. So once that is done, then go for finding out the overall gain. Overall gain is nothing but whatever the resistance is present at the input part multiplied by gain will give me the overall gain. And when you want to find our output resistance, your VSIG should be made 0. So that means you are going to just short circuit your input part, and output part we are just going to get only two resistances will be present, R0 and RD, that both are in parallel, hence R0 parallel to RD will be my output resistance. That's all for today. Just remember 4 things, that is you are finding expression for Rn, then a gain, output resistance and overall gain. So this is what will be asked throughout this module, whether it is for a common source amplifier or a common drain amplifier, whatever the circuit it is. So that's all for today. Thank you.